Hi everyone, I just finished the blenderguru donut tutorial, and it was very useful. So here is the whole 14 part in less than 10 minutes. Well, like blenderguru said, we need to learn only 20% to be able to do 80% of most projects. So we will talk about viewport and navigation, modeling, sculpting, materials, geometry nodes, lighting, compositing, animation, renders, general concepts. This big space is like the editor where we build our object. In top we have this menus, and next to them is pre-made scenes for all stuff we can do in Blender, plus you can create your own. To right, it's the outliner, list of component that create our scene. Down, it's properties menus. At the bottom we can create animations. For some reason it's important to delete the cube. Tradition humans are weird. To delete anything press X, then delete. To create anything you can press Shift and A then choose. Rotate around an object, select the object, then press middle mouse button and move the mouse. To slide, Shift and middle mouse button to any direction. To zoom, select the object, then scroll in or out or press plus or mouse button. All those can be done with no shortcuts using these things here, X and Y and Z axis, because it's a 3D space. If you are away from an object, press the period key to zoom back to it. To move an object, press G to have freestyle movement, then left mouse button to confirm or escape to cancel. To lock movement on one axis, choose axis by pressing X or Y or Z. Rotate object by pressing R or scale it by pressing S either in freestyle or lock to an axis. Here are without shortcuts. Here is a little trick: you can press the move or scale or rotate button, then the middle mouse button, and you will have all axes to choose from. Here are the properties of our project. In it we have some general properties, and there is some properties related to the selected object, like the properties for the camera or for the lights mesh. The move, rotate, scale options are called transform, and they happen around the origin point of an object, which is this small orange point, and we can move it alone in various ways, like in properties panel, then tool, then move only origin. And now if we rotate the object will around its origin point. To reset the origin point, object then set origin to the center of the mask. There is different ways to select by pressing that mouse then G. To create a new collection, press this new collection button or right click, then new collection, pick and drop the object in it. You can do the same from the editor. Just select an object, then press M new collection. It will automatically put the selected object in that collection. Let's start creating. Shift and A, then choose an object. We have these options that appear only at creation and disappear after clicking. To make them reappear, press F9. They disappear definitely after moving or scaling or editing the object. Modifiers change the mesh in non-destructive way, like the subdivision modifiers that average the between points and make it look smoother. We can add details in viewport and render. Shade smooth, don't add geometry, so if we have hard edges they will stay hard, but we can go around it by changing the normal angle in data, then normal, then auto smooth, and choose the angle. The solidify allow us to add thickness to our mesh. Simple deform allow you to twist or bend an object based on its number of segments and its origin point. The order of modifiers is important. What if what we want to create is not on that menu? Here it comes, our savior, the edit mode, where we can build any shape we want. Select a mesh, then this modes allow us to do different things to the mesh. Select edit mode here or press tab. Now we get access to the building points of our mesh. Every mesh is formed of points called vertex. 2 points create an edge and 3 vertex or more create a face. We can do different actions like move, rotate, scale to this individual faces, vertex edges, or we can use the proportional editing by pressing O, where we have this circle of influence, and any vertex in that circle will be affected in smooth way using this curve. We can select with a rectangle, but if we want the other side to be selected, do we need to activate X-ray? We can select a whole loop by getting close to what side we want to be selected, then double click, press Ctrl and double click. It will do a ring selection. To add another selection to it, then shift and double click. To select from a point to another, first point, then Ctrl and select the final point. Control plus or minus to select or deselect the next face's ring or loop. To duplicate we use Shift and D. We can snap by choosing snap, then snap to faces. And if we are in proportional editing we need face project, so even the affected faces would snap, and we can Allen rotation. Quick tip, we can press G to move, then B, and then choose the face or edge or vertex that we want to snap it. Then we move the object, and it will be snapping to the face of the other mesh. We can use H to hide and Alt and H to unhide or isolate an object by pressing slash. Control and B to bevel and scroll up and down to change the number of segments. And we have this extra options here. And Control and R to add new edges. To extrude, press E, Alt and E for more extrude options. You can have more editing options with the right click or Control and E. Press axis twice for local. Press M to merge between 2 points either by distance or by selection order. Now we can go nuts with the editing and create our project. Sculpt is like edit mode, but on steroid. You work more freely on the shape. To enter sculpt mode, select the mesh, then choose sculpt mode, F to change radius, and Shift and F to change the strength. Different kind of brushes for different effects, and to make the brush not affect the back faces, choose brush, then front faces only. Inflate brush will allow you to inflate your mesh, making it blubby. G is grub brush, where you can move the mesh as you wish. Clay you will build on top of it. Smooth to smooth it. You can choose a mask with M to hide an area and draw around it. Control and I to invert mask and Alt and M to deselect the mask. Mesh filter will allow you to apply a certain brush with a constante value to the mesh or unmasked mesh. Materials are what gives an object its colors and feels, and how it's perceived when it's rendered. To create a material, go to Properties panel, then Materials, then create a new material and name it. Then in the Shading tab, we get this workshop of creating materials as nodes, which allow us to do different things to the materials like adding noise or adjusting the hue saturation. We get the principal node where we have the base color of the object, metallic, to 1. If the object is metal, roughness, which is how much this object surface is smooth, like if it's so smooth at value 0, it reflect 100% light around it, and if its value is 1, then the surface is not smooth at all, and the light is not reflected, it looks like a brick. Then subsurface is lighting going through the object and bouncing in it like in skin and food. By manipulating these values we can create our own material. PBR materials are realistic, created by using pre-made maps that have those information in black and white, where black is 0 and white is 1, and different shade of gray is the values in between. Normal maps which basically allow you to add infinite details at no cost, which is crazy. They are blue map, Shift and A, to create any node. We can make the image texture node like that, or by dragging and dropping it like that. If the map linked to base color you can leave it as sRGB, but if it's linked to others we need to change it to none color. To use normal maps, we add the map, then normal map node, and link it to color, then link it to normal, and we can control its strength. Object info is a node that gives you different information about an object instance. This can be useful to give some variation to a single material assigned to multiple instances. Color ramp gives different colors based on what you precise. Linking it to metallic or roughness with white, and to black colors will act like a black and white map. To install an add-on, go to edit then performance, then add-on then install, then choose the zip file as it is, don't extract it. Wrangler add-on allow to add some useful functionality to the material nodes. Texture painting is making our textures. To do that first our mesh need to have UV map. Best way to explain it is that you create a flat image, then you wrap it around a 3D object, and the UV map allow you to specify how you wrap that 2D image around the 3D object. We create a new image texture where we color, uniform color, then link it to base color of the mesh. We go to texture painting tab, we open that image texture we created and save it, and now look at that we can color our texture, brush to color, back it to make it uniform color, shift to smooth, and you have the smudge. Geometry nodes. It allow you to modify the mesh and create stuff in procedural way. First open the geometry nodes tab, then create new node, it will give you a modifier, which is the geometry node. Left node is your original mesh, the right node is the result. You can pin it. Let's create the sprinkles. First use the distribute points on faces which will distribute points on a mesh. To make more than one mesh appear use join geometry node. To specify the object you want to distribute, create the object, then drag it to your nodes, then link it to instance on points. To make them not overlap each other, specify random to disk distribution points, and slide it like that to specify region to draw on. We can use the weight paint mode. In this mode we can create a map of values between 0 and 1, where 0 is blue, 1 is red. Depending on the value will appear the sprinkles. To do that go to weight paint mode, then in data, then vertex group, we draw. Then we will reference it with named attribute. We can expose values by linking them to that empty thing. And now we can modify them as we want in the modifier without changing them in the nodes. If you want to spread a whole collection, then drag the collection, link it to instance on point, and check this boxes. Then to make it rotate toward a direction, rotate your main object, apply rotation, then link the rotation to rotate Euler, set it to local, then to rotation of instance on point, the rotate by the random value and go nuts. There is two types of render engines, EV which is real-time like games, and Cycle which is realistic, but take more time so it's not real-time. Select the camera and go to its options. You can scale it down and change stuff, and press N and snap it to view. So now you can move with navigation movement. We can create light by Shift and A then point light. In light options we can change its type, color intensity. To create a sun, go to world, then color and pick the sky texture. Sun size is depending on the relative location of the sun in regards of Earth. The rest is self-explanatory. You can go to render then color management, and change exposure of the sun if it's too bright. Check your image light exposure with render then color management, then false color. Red and white are not that good. Compositing is basically adding effects to your render. Click on the compositing tab, you will get this. To view your render click on use nodes, then render your image by pressing F12. When it's finished go to your main node, then control and shift, then left click on it to use the viewer node in Voila. Now we can see our render. Alt and middle mouse button to move the render. In color management you can change the contrast and use different preset. AEGX makes your renders looks more realistic. Let's add glare effect. First Shift and A then right glare. Get this and go nuts with it. Then add another glare and change it to fog glow. Then mix this to effects by using the add node. Note that blender work from bottom up. So when we turn down the factor we are actually dialing down the bottom effect. Then to add it to the compositor we will use another add. Mix it with the main node and link it to composite. We can have live composite where we see our compositing in 3D viewport. We can add lens distortion and cinematic aberration with this node. Enter the animation tab, then select the object and press I to put a keyframe which will save the infos you need at that frame, graph editor to modify the curve, and make it move as you want. Render is basically the final image we get. For faster render with less simples use denoise, but don't go nuts with it. Denoise and noise threshold don't work well together so deactivate one. Depth of field, select camera then camera options, then depth of field and choose the center object, and go nuts. Do checklist, look to the object from different views to see any artifacts or misplaced objects in the scene. Check that only needed layers are on. Check normals if there is any flip normals, recalculate, select all faces then Shift and N to fix it. If faces are inside check inside, check that your light and composition effects are good to go. If everything is okay, then in render options activate denoise, choose reasonable samples like 500 to 1000, then in output choose the location PNG format files, frame rate 30 is acceptable, then render animation. File then new then video editing, then Shift and A image or seconds choose all of them. Then voila we get the video, then Shift and A color, then a fade in. You can choose the options here. You have the frame rate, the frame range, then where to save them. Then output FFmpeg is the most flexible. Then in encoding, you have all this formats. MPEG4 is MP4 and quality perceptually lossless is a good one. Audio if you have audio. Then again render animation. Use reference. You can use control fill light by creating black material that absorb the light, it's called negative light. Append, for blend files and choose, collection, to get everything, import, for other types of files, numpad 1, for front view, numpad 3, for right view, numpad 7, for top view, choose top view or right view, then press numpad 9 for bottom view or left view, numpad 5, to swap between perspective and orthographic view, numpad 0, camera view, and we are done. That was the donut tutorial in less than 10 minutes. Thank you Blender Guru for everything, we learn a lot, and I hope guys this will be the beginning of your 3D journey. Thank you for watching, and if you like this series consider subscribing and liking this video.